want to see you on Wife Swap. Have you ever seen that show? I want to see you on there, Jeff. But it probably wouldn't
There would
work.
be
Because,
it would be this woman who would come in and be like, "No more wow." Yeah.
well, the thing is,
Like,
with
make-
Wife Swap, maybe you're sufficiently freakish, Jeff, because you have to be like a freak is one of the conditions, or you have to be like the fucking total counter freak. But you also have to be someone who, with like, dude. I mean, this is sad that I'm admitting I watched this show, but they wouldn't have a show if they basically got easygoing people who are like, yeah, I get to be on TV for a week. Fuck it. If this chick wants me to fucking dress up in clown makeup because she's a clown family, fucking so be it, right? But immediately they get these people that somehow signed up to be on this TV show and everything, and then the fucking wife comes in and they're like,
Yep.
fuck Dad, I ain't doing that. Get the fuck out.
It's like during the interviews, they interview the people and find out, like, well, I'm a pretty easygoing guy, but I do have this irrational fear of clowns.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit. What about that clown family?
I wonder what their database is like, because they have to have tons and tons of submissions, and they're basically trying to like draw lines between them and create like the ideal pairs. But I mean, ideal meaning the fucking least suitable for one another.
Well, the one that was on recently with this San Francisco guy who got completely demonized for being such a total dickhead on TV. You know, that was a pure case of where the producers put together two families that it was just doomed to failure, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And the guy was a dick, but
the other thing about that show is like just seeing how fucking miserable people's lives are. I mean, they always try to spin it at the very end. They always want to end on this note of like learning and mutual appreciation. But the fucking preceding like 25 minutes or however long that show is are all about you sitting there and saying, thank God my life isn't like, thank God my wife isn't a cunt like that. Thank God like my kids aren't retarded and fat. Like, I mean, that's all that shit's about, man.
You put it so eloquently, Sean. I also just think sometimes when I watch that show, like the clips that I've seen, I feel like it's one of those shows where people are totally playing the reality TV roles. Like they just know how they're supposed to behave. Like that one that was going around with that was really popular with the junk food eating fat family and
that kid and the chicken fingers.
Yeah, and he would eat chicken fingers or chicken nuggets or whatever for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they would stash like their snack food all throughout the house and try to hide it from one another because their big like family joke was that you would come in and eat all of your family member's favorite snack while they weren't looking or something, which is an amazing family tradition. But immediately when the healthy wife comes into the fat family's house and starts throwing out stuff, you see them like acting like the reality TV people they've seen on TV. They know that they're supposed to make a big drama out of it.
That's what the San Francisco guy, that was his excuse once he started getting villainized, and he had to like resign from some organizations he was in just because they didn't want to be associated with him. His life. No, it's true. You can find this stuff
on the internet,
online by Google. On the internet, his wife had to apologize on her own blog, which is a popular blog in its own right for the line of work she's in on behalf of her husband. And his whole excuse was, well, they said to sort of play this up for the TV show. I'm not really this big a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder about that. And with all the shows.
But why play along? Yeah. Well, that's a problem I think with reality TV in general. Is there can be like a first season of the innocents, right? Who are sort of learning by doing, and then everybody else is kind of like playing the part that they saw in previous seasons. It's very hyper reality at that point.
And even producers, you have to imagine, like even like on the shit like The Bachelor and stuff, like there's always like some kind of fine print I've heard that says decisions are assisted by producers or something like that. Because I mean, like you have some show with the cast of people and involves kicking some off. You don't want to kick off the ones with like with the douchiest personality in the first night, because you're going to have to rely on that conflict for the entire season. So,
did you guys have
it's sort of like the? Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, do you guys happen to see the links that were going around to this new reality TV show that's supposed to be about competitive video gamers who live in?
Oh, fuck that, dude! Yes, it's horrible.
God, I can't remember what that's called though. It's like CG. It's not CGS because that was another
WCG.
Yeah, WCG or something like that. Yeah, it's this ridiculous thing where they pick these random people who are actually like not even remotely good at video games and have them sort of compete at games against each other and live in an apartment together and have all of the annoying
have their lives taped.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have the same
about 7 gamers who live in a house. Their lives taped.
Yeah, the real version of that show would not be suitable for family viewing.
No.
Why is it that half the shit that comes out nowadays you can't tell? Like you're waiting the entire time to see that it's like a clip from like SNL or some shit like that. I mean, it's just like everything that's being presented seriously. You're like, dude, no, are you serious? And they are.
So what I was going to say about
go ahead.
Yeah. Well, just about I'm slightly changing the subject, so you go first.
Oh no, I totally even just forgot what I was going to say. So fuck
awesome.
it.
This is what's great about podcasting with the Stone guy.
It's not true.
Dude, Robert says he gets like it's more of a body high when he eats it, like he's been doing.
Shut the fuck up. Do not perpetuate this myth.
I know it's everyone listening. It's not.
It's just your voice.
Yeah.
So what I was going to say was this hyper reality and playing the role thing. That could happen in the podcasting world too. Like who plays the role of Shane Bettenhausen on the One Up Yours, right? Mm-hmm. Like I noticed that in not just on NeoGAF, but all around this sort of question of like, well, who's going to replace him, and people's expectations as listeners and viewers of who has to play these particular parts, and even you too, Luke, right? When you left, who was going to play the part of Luke?
Right.
Oh, David Ellis, obviously.
Right.
This is what's fucked up because I know, Luke, you and I disagree. We've had arguments, and you've publicly said that Shane's playing a part. And for me, Shane never played a part, and I say that with all the years that I've known him, and that he was just being himself. And people say, I mean, and that's good to me. I mean, I would rather have that than saying that like I'm insincerely trying to create drama.
Wait, are you sure that Shane was not simply the Daniel Day-Lewis of video game journalism?
Of video game podcasting. So he was always himself, but the fact that it became a perception and it was widely accepted that he was playing a role, then made it so that there now is the Shane role, and that there's like this acute sense of the vacuum there, and so people want to fill it as though you could fill it by manufacturing it rather than just by being yourself and having someone.
This is what I'm saying.
Same,
right? Yeah, that's exactly my point.
And goes for Luke too. Yeah.
Right, both those guys, and I agree. I agree that I think that Shane is just being Shane. It's just that part of being Shane is actually kind of playing this role. I mean, he purposely tweaks people. That's who Shane is. So I think he believes most of what he's saying, but he's definitely saying a lot of it, kind of with a grin on his face, like, I know I'm fucking with you. So,
but he knows that his perspective on it is going to piss you off. It's not that he's fucking with you. It's not his true perspective. Like every line about Sony and everything. I mean, that's all from the heart, Right. But it's like the smile is because I don't know. You explain the shit-eating grin, Luke. And it's a good one. Like, so Shane, if you somehow listen to this, I know you're not. Like, it's nothing. It's all love, man.
We all love Shane.
We were all at Robert's last night, rolling around in that bag of weed.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.